I think about how do people feel like when they watch. Like I was talking about earlier, there's isolation, um, in a lot of these companies with brown people. Isolation, and they'll hire you as a number. No intent really to use your resources. They just want you to be grateful for that job. They stick you in the corner, and they don't utilize when you have real competency and talent. They don't want to utilize. They're just trying to get a number in. So they don't invite you to the meetings. This is your boss. Don't invite you to the meetings. Don't train you. This you come in here, you you drown, sink or swim, as they say. And a lot of times, brown people are in those situations, and they don't want you asking questions, and they don't want you going outside to ask other people questions. So they really isolate you, and I've seen this. And they set up a situation so that you're going to fail. Most people will fail. Anybody would fail in that situation. The strongest of the strongest, the most dedicated, the most resourceful, they make it. And I've seen people make it, right? But they pay a price for it. But I just wonder though, how do people feel who are watching this unravel? Like the system, the way it's set up. When I see brown people in these situations, it's a bias. Now, is it an intentional bias or is it an unconscious bias? Because they treat a person so badly and isolate them so badly that they don't make it, and then they say, "See, this person just didn't it just didn't make it because it wasn't smart enough. It wasn't competent enough." See, that's what happens when you don't hire qualified people. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like you believe this about this person, which is not true, but you create a scenario with the power that you have to make this person be what you want them to be, which is a person who is not going to make it. And then you justify with your reasons. And that's intentional or unintentional, or both, who knows, right? But people are watching it. People are watching, co workers, other leaders are watching this thing happen, and they do nothing. Not everybody feels the same way. Not everybody is biased. Not everybody feels the same way about brown people. They don't. But they watch this thing unravel. And I wonder how it affects them. It makes them feel that they did nothing. They didn't support. They didn't help. They did nothing. They participated in it. They participated. The meetings that this person wasn't invited to on the same team, they went to that meeting. Don't they have questions? Like, why isn't this coworker of mine in this meeting that we're all supposed to be in? The treatment, the isolation. This person, they watch this person suffer. How do they feel about it? Like some people may be like, buy into that bias. Yep, see? But other people are smarter. They're like, this is not right. How does someone supposed to survive here? How would I survive here? How do they feel? And my guess is that it weighs on most people's conscience because here you are watching and participating. You're forced to participate, but you're participating in a situation where this person is being mistreated, this person's being isolated, this person basically is set up for failure or forced into a failure situation, and you're right there and you're a part of it. How does that feel? I'm thinking it takes away from that person. Somehow it takes away from their consciousness. Somehow it takes away from that person when they participate, watch it, they're forced into it. My guess, it doesn't feel good for most people. And yet we don't do anything. And the fact that we don't do anything, it must feel worse. I heard a story. I heard a lot of these stories where, and maybe it's not appropriate to tell this story here, but in the slavery period, when the massa, was on his deathbed, sometimes he would gather his slaves around. Gather slaves around. After a lifetime of slavery, abuse, he would gather his slaves around at his bedside while he's dying. And he would ask them to forgive him for his sins upon them. Can you imagine that? He's asking the slaves who he's abused for a lifetime, when he knew it was wrong, to forgive him for his sins. And not only that, even though he's asking for forgiveness from these people, he doesn't free them. He doesn't let them go. Nothing's changed. This may be over the top, what I'm about to say. And it may piss some people off. But I'm just going to say it. And it's just a thought. Asking another man for forgiveness, that's easy. That's the easy part. You ruined their lives. You hurt them. You made them a slave. You treated them like they were inhuman. You robbed them of their gifts. I talked about this before. We all have gifts to share, and slavery and oppression robs people of their gifts. And so you go to this man when you're dying, when you're about to check out, and you lived your whole life abusing, and you're about to check out, and you're asking for forgiveness. That's the easy part. The hard part, which we don't know, what happens after you die. Who are you going to talk to after you die? Who are you going to face after you die? What's that going to be like? Who are you going to talk to about forgiveness after you die? Because I didn't create me. I didn't put me here. Something else did. Something else did. And put you here too. So what is that conversation like? What are you going to have to face in that situation? So I got on that.